Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the FTM token. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. And if you haven't seen the previous update, feel free to watch that. The last one was back in November, actually, where we printed this bottom here, November 5th, believe it or not. And it's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. And now let's jump straight into the TA. So taking a look at the daily chart, what happened is that we ran into our 1.618 target, and we did set this up back in the previous video. We'll take a look at it on the weekly chart as well, but just to show you kind of what I'm talking about, we can set up a Fibonacci retracement here just as an example. We used this local high that we printed back in August 2022, and obviously the local low in November, and we had our 1.618 somewhere at 74 cents. But if you actually use the body of the candles, it's going to be a bit lower, and if you go on the weekly chart, the 1.618 is going to be somewhere around 67 cents, and that was perfectly met, and the technical target off of this fractal was perfectly met. So you could have potentially secured yourself roughly 234%. Obviously, no one knew that you were actually going to get to the 1.618, but if you're looking at the indicators here and you saw that you were very, very low and you had this massive drop from the overbought back in November, then, you could have at least, based on these indicators, you could have made a good move and you could have invested some money. Now, based on this previous November low that we created, we created a really good support level here between 17.70 and 16.86 cents. So this area is going to be a massive support for us going forward. And as you can see, we did wick towards that area, and we had a lot of buying pressure come up here. So a lot of buying pressure below 19.5 cents. You can also see that we are in a falling wedge pattern. So this is a bullish reversal pattern. You have two touches of support. You have two touches of resistance. This is a valid pattern. And as you all know, we are expecting a breakout from here. This is a bullish reversal pattern, and typically we have targets to the upside. So 75% chance of a breakout. Your technical target would be sitting at 30.5 cents. Or 30.5, and it's a 48% move to the upside from where you are right now. Obviously, if you're a trader, you want to be, trading the breakout. You want to wait for a move to the upside, maybe get in back at the back test, however you want to do it. I would wait until potentially we get the bullish cross on the daily, but then your profits wouldn't be as large, or you can potentially wait until you break the 55 EMA. But there are different ways to do it. But as soon as we start breaking above the 55, I would say there is a really good chance we're going to be getting back up to the resistance level here, to our technical target. But there's still a 25% chance that all of this is going to fail and we're going to get invalidated and it will drop down. And I'm hoping this support level can hold us. So between 0.1768 cents down to 0.1688 cents. And of course, you have this immediate support down below at 19.5 cents. There's a lot of demand in this area, as you can see back in June 2022, in October 2022, in December 2022, a lot of back tests of this area, and we did briefly, get below it in November. So if we end up dropping below 19.5 cents, this is as low as I'm hoping we're gonna go. But obviously, just because I'm hoping for it doesn't mean that's actually what's going to happen. We might even drop lower. Now, if we're going to be looking at lower prices, you can always come back to this July 2021 low. That's sitting at 16 cents. And if we start losing that low, well, things are not going to be looking very good, because this below 16 cents, we actually have a parabola here. So this was a very strong parabolic move to the upside, and we might start looking at this September 2020 resistance here. But like I said, dropping below these key support levels is going to be a huge problem for FTM and for FTM holders. So until we are breaking down, I'm not going to, cause any panic. I'm not going to say that we're dropping below, but anything can happen if we have a flash crash. Just be mentally prepared to go below this a bit. I don't think we're coming back down to December 2020 lows, obviously. But in terms of the price action, it looks pretty healthy. It looks pretty healthy. If we create a strong support level in this area here and we manage to consolidate for the next few months, we're going to be looking at some nice gains during the bull market. Now, let's jump into the weekly chart. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. So taking a look at the weekly chart, as you can see, if I add this small Fibonacci retracement, there we go. So you can see that we have the swing high here at 64 cents, and we have, or the 1.618 target, but we have the swing high in August, and we have the swing low in November last year. So the technical target was perfectly met, and from there you're down 68% from this local high. So this is a good area to be accumulating. Now also you can see that I had a larger Fibonacci retracement in the background, and you can see that this one is set up from the swing high here in December 2021, or the all-time high, down to the bottom in March 2020. And what ended up happening is that we ran into this resistance at the 0.236, and we spoke about this in my last update in November. So we said that we're going to potentially run into 62 cents, and that might be a good area for you to swing trade. And from there, we just said we were down approximately 68%. So if you listened and you looked at this picture and you saw you were getting pretty overbought here around the index of 65, that was quite high. So you could have sold some tokens there, and you could have waited for a pullback. If you haven't done that, that's not the end of the world. I don't think anything bad is going to happen, but it was just an opportunity to make some money on the sidelines. Now, what I don't like here is the fact that we're constantly printing lower highs, and we have this horizontal support, but it does look like potentially we're going to be breaking down from here. And this is not the best thing in the world, obviously. It is bound to happen to some altcoins, but if we are going to be losing that support, your next immediate support down is going to be 9.5 cents. And hopefully we're not going to be breaking down, but it is possible. So I want to warn you of all the possible outcomes here. Let's set up a Fibonacci retracement from this January 2023 high down to the November low. And you can see we have our extension levels from 12 cents down to 8 cents. So the 1.272 is going to be your minimal target at 12 cents. And you can target that, set up some buy limit orders in advance just in case. But I'm just letting you know, because we are printing some sort of a descending triangle here. You have a bunch of back tests of support. Maybe you'll have another one here briefly, and you have a descending resistance trend line. So you have a target to the downside right now. You're bound to break down, because this is a bearish pattern that we're seeing over here. A descending triangle is a bearish pattern, and I'm hoping we're just gonna break out of this thing and we're close to the apex. We're gonna have a nice move to the upside. Let's see if we have any bullish divergences. Actually, this is gonna be pretty important to look at. So as of right now, no bullish divergences and no bearish divergences for that matter. And the stochastic, however, is down here in the oversold below the index of 20. The last time we were down here was back in October, November, when you should have been accumulating before that strong pump into January. So based on the stochastic, this is a good entry point. Based on the RSI, it looks like we just lost a very important resistance or support level that we've been holding since May 2022, and we lost this support block as well that we had set up from the low in March 2022 all the way down to this low in June 2023, and this was just a good area to accumulate. Whenever you're below it, I think that screams pretty cheap. It is possible we're going to be retesting some of these lower levels. Like I said, anything is possible on these markets, so potentially expect 34.2 on the RSI. If you see that level met, and take a look at the price action, see where you're sitting. If it's pretty low or lower than we are right now, then yeah, just put some money into the project. Not a financial advice, of course. And if you take a look at this larger fib and you see where the golden ratio is, we're sitting at 0.038 cents, or roughly 4 cents if you want to be, yeah, it's 4 cents. So ideally, a bounce off the golden ratio is something that, you know, could happen. And I say ideally because this is the strongest support level. And you can use this entire golden pocket as a support block. And if you end up bottoming out somewhere here, that's a pretty good level to create a very, very strong FTM position. And from there, you're going to be looking at a pretty good return if you're looking at the next. If you're looking to sell at the all-time high, that's a 5,600% to the upside, really good. And that would still be valid for this uptrend that we're in, because this is a long-term uptrend. And you're simply going to be printing a higher low. So you have this low, you have this low, and if we drop down to the golden ratio, it's still going to be a valid uptrend. So yeah, we could drop as low as 4 cents and we could still be bullish, guys. I don't know, however, if we're going to be dropping down that low, but I know that if we're going to be losing this support at 17 cents or so, things might take a turn down south here, and we might retest some of these extension levels on the smaller fib that we just added. So make sure to set up some buy limit orders in advance. I'm not investing into FTM myself at the moment. There are other altcoins that are looking much better in terms of the price action, because this has done, you know, tremendous gains since March 2020, 127,000%. That is just crazy. So, you know, I'm going to wait until I start thinking about investing into FTM. I'd probably get in at around about, you know, below 10 cents. Maybe I'm going to put some money into this thing. But for now, I have other altcoins I'm dollar cost averaging into. If you want to get all of my tokens and access to all of my buy alerts and my portfolio in general, feel free to check out the Patreon, like I said. And that should be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.